All right, everyone, welcome back. So we continue on our deadline previews with the Ottawa Senators today. So once again, the Ottawa Senators are selling. The expectation was that they would be better this year. Well, they're not. So they're going to be selling this season. So as of right now, not including the game that is happening on Tuesday, February 27th, they are currently 25, 28, and 3 for 53 points. They are 8th overall in the Atlantic Division. So for Ottawa, they're actually a team that, yes, they underachieve expectations, but they're actually doing a lot better recently than they have been earlier on in the season, which is something we saw last year as well, where the team more or less was terrible at the start of the season from probably like October to December, and then they were pretty solid from January to the end of the season, but were just so far behind they couldn't make a dent in the standings. But now they're pretty much almost 500. They're closing in on 500 right now. Only 3 games below, maybe 4 if they obviously lose tonight, which they could. So obviously they look like they're trending in the right direction, but they're still going to be sellers. They should still sell at the deadline. They should try and get some draft picks. I think management's done a good job at clearing up some of the pieces from this team, and obviously there's more pieces to be moved. So currently they have $88,000 in cap space. I would love 88 grand, but that's not enough to make a hockey team. Obviously, just looking at contracts, it's not even enough to sign one player to a major league deal. So yeah, obviously you're going to want some cap space, and I think they will have some of that at the end of this deadline. So they have plenty of players they could potentially move. One of those is Vladimir Tarasenko, and the other is Dominik Kubalik, which are your 2 UFAs on your UFA list this offseason. So Tarasenko, do I need to mention more? He's a really solid top 6 forward, was traded to the Rangers last summer, is going to be another name that is sparked around a lot out there. The price it looks like for a guy like Tarasenko is probably a first and a mid-level prospect. That's likely what it's going to be. I think with the Monahan deal, that really supplemented what Tarasenko, the return's going to be there. So if you're Ottawa, start speculating with what prospects you want and what picks you want from these teams. I've seen Vegas interested. I've seen Carolina, the Rangers, the Oilers. There's plenty of teams that are in the mix there for a guy like Vladimir Tarasenko to add him to your top 6 because he can score plenty of goals for you. And Kubalik has been underwhelming. So I don't expect Kubalik to get traded. I think they'll try and move him, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest there. So with that being said, he will walk in free agency. That's probably what's going to happen. He has been really underachieving. Last year in Detroit, he looked good, but this year it just hasn't been it for the Senators. So I expect for him to just walk in free agency, to be honest with you. Your restricted free agents is where there's a few more names that are interesting, but not a whole lot this offseason, again, for the Senators. You got Shane Pinto, Parker Kelly, Erik Brannstrom, and Max Gwinnett. So you got Shane Pinto, who's coming back from the gambling situation. Obviously, he has 13 points in 15 games played. That isn't bad. He's really starting to come back and looking like a really solid player. So I like to see Pinto improving in that way. So he's looking like he can be a very promising forward in the future. Kelly, I think, might get walked. He might walk in free agency. I think that's something that could happen because I've seen some Sens fans criticize him over social media. But again, the fans don't matter when it comes to management moves like that. But Kelly, it shows there are some flaws in his game, and he's not an NHL player and probably will either just get signed to a league minimum deal or walk in free agency. Brannstrom, I think, is a guy that could get moved. I think there's a good possibility that if you're looking for a young defenseman, maybe in a trade, you can move Brannstrom. That's a possibility. And we've seen those rumors pop up in last offseason, so don't be surprised if we see those again this offseason. And then Gwinnett, I don't know a whole lot about Gwinnett. I think he's more or less just a depth forward. I imagine they just keep him around on a league minimum contract. That's what I see happening there with their restricted free agents. So what are your needs if you're the Ottawa Senators? I think you want draft picks and you want youth. I don't think you want prospects anymore necessarily. I think you want some youth players. I know I keep using Andrei Kuzmenko as an example, but he's the best example to use. He's a guy who is young, needed a change of scenery, and now he has one with the Calgary Flames. So that's something I could see happening there with the Senators. I'm not saying that Kuzmenko is going to be the guy because he's definitely not. But there's a chance that obviously they could go out and get a youth player like Kuzmenko. What are your movable pieces if you're the Senators? Sorry, pieces is a very hard word to say. You got Tarasenko, Kubalik, as I mentioned. you do have Chychrun. Chychrun is a name that was spliced out and is still in the rumor mill a little bit. I don't think anything amounts of it, though. I think they keep him. I think that, there is some rumors that maybe he doesn't want to sign long-term with Ottawa. Then those rumors were confirmed false. I really don't know what you want. You can think what you want, to be honest. But I personally think that Chychrun stays with the Senators. It wouldn't surprise me. Claude Giroux, another name there too, maybe. If Giroux comes out in the next week or so and says, I want to go to a team that can win me a Stanley Cup, the Sens probably would move him. I feel like they would. I think there'd be a market out there for him because he's still putting up solid numbers, even at the age that he is. And as a Flyers fan, I would love to see Giroux go somewhere else. Come back to Philly. I'm kidding. But yeah, obviously there's other names there, like Brandstrom's a name that I brought up. There's other guys that could be experimented to move. But apart from that, I feel like this team keeps more or less the same roster besides maybe moving Tarasenko and Brandstrom and Kubalik. Those are the three guys that I see most likely being moved. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate it. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.